The most difficult things you can do as a man, or as a person in general, is accept that maybe your way isn't the best way. Now, every Monday, I do a Monday Mindset Mentoring. I'm Laurence, I'm the founder of Candle, as you can see by the YouTube name. And I used to do this in a way that would be like not scripted, but I had an outline because I can tend to go on tangents. What I've learned is that one of my best abilities is using tangents to expand on concepts and ideas. And one of the things I've been thinking about a lot over the weekend was this idea that it's always good to have a plan. You should have a goal, you should have a plan in mind. The problem is when you stick too closely to the plan that you have to make everything work in that way. Like, we're stubborn. We as humans, especially men, we're stubborn. You hear something, you want to look for the fix. If the fix you have doesn't work, you don't know what to do. Very rarely are we as people able to get a job done, see what's not working, and then work towards something different, something new, without outside help. And this is why, like, I as a man, I needed my wife to come in and tell me, hey, this is not working, this is working, this is how you think, this is what could be done differently, this could be done better. What do you think about it? And it doesn't just have to be marriage. I know a lot of people nowadays, a lot of my friends, my brother, they don't, you're not looking for marriage. It can be very difficult because as the society starts to just do what it is doing, it's hard for a lot of y'all to invest time, energy, money, effort into something that's not going to work. But I'll have you consider that maybe it's not about the end result, rather it's about who you become in the process. Like, my wife and I was not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. I had a lot of struggles and problems we worked out. Now, obviously, there are struggles and problems I can't talk about from a psychiatric standpoint. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a medical nor financial advisor. This is not professional advice in any way. It's on YouTube, come on. I don't need to put out a whole legal disclaimer to explain why that doesn't work. But there are a lot of things I had the foundation for, but needed someone to help push home. And one of the dangers, I think, in this society is that we've gotten so focused on being overly selfish that we don't know how to get out of our own way without a coach, without a mentor, without a guide. Hiring a coach, obviously this is my pitch, right? Hiring a coach, hiring a mentor has been the greatest thing I've done. Spending hundreds, thousands of dollars in learning how to implement strategies to promote myself, to grow my life, to become the man I needed to be for my wife. Because at the end of the day, if you focus only on yourself and your plan, life's going to be really, really difficult and really lonely because you don't have the ability to adjust. Excuse me. Old me would have taken that and stopped recording and re-recorded it, or just edited this, taken that off. But that's kind of the beauty of life. Like, your body knows how to adjust. Something got in my nose, I had to sneeze, I sneezed. Something gets in your throat, you have to cough. You blink because something's flowing in your eye, right? When you work out, you train your body, it understands difficulty, so then it starts to adapt, you get stronger and stronger. If you get stuck in your mind, your mindset gets fixed, you can't expand out of it, you don't think about what else is going on. Maybe there's 4 core tenets we use: body, being, balance, and business. Your body is pretty self-explanatory. Being, how you see the world with God, how do you relate with God? Balance, you're balanced with your relationships with your spouse, your kids, your friends, your partners, whoever it may be. In business, how do you make money, grow money, and keep money? And if you get stuck in any of those 4 domains, body, being, balance, and business, your life will stagnate so quickly, it will just become so unenjoyable that I don't even know where you'd want to go. Like, that drove me to a very dark place when I was like, this is how my life is going to be. This is what I do for my workouts. This is what I do in my relationships. This is what I do in my business. This is what I'm going to do with my God. Like, the world has to fall into exactly how I see it, and nothing else works. And when you get stuck in that, because the world is always evolving, the world is always changing, people around you evolve, people around you change, standards don't change, right? Like, standards should stay the same with God. But if you try and fit God into your mold, if you try and fit people into your mold, you try and fit work and business into your mold. Like, I quit a job because I was so frustrated with it that I just quit. I was like, the world's gonna give me what I want because I took a chance on myself. And sometimes it takes drastic measures to realize that it does not work that way. You are one person, if you live in the United States, you are one person out of 400 million people? and the 400 million people on this one country exist in a bunch of other countries across 7 to 8 billion people in this one year, in the thousands and thousands of millennia that have existed. You may be unique, but you're not special. And even then, someone out there across the history of the universe probably looks like me. Someone else probably thinks like me. Someone else exists like I exist. And you can take that to be like, oh, I'm not special. What does it even matter? I don't care. So I don't give a crap. Or you can take it and say, you know what? If someone else has done this, someone else has had this problem, someone else has had this issue, someone else has experienced this, maybe I can learn from them. I'm not the first man to get married. I'm not the first person to have anger issues. I'm not the first person to curse or have been atheist and found God. So I learn from people who have found God. I learn from people who learned how to control their emotions. I learn from people who have been married. I've asked people who've been divorced, what caused your divorce? What made you different? Because when you have a fixed mindset and you get stuck in this idea of what should be, you don't open yourself up to the possibilities of what can be. If you have a fixed vision of your life, for good or for worse, and you get stuck in it, you don't see how you can get out of that, how you can change things, how it doesn't have to be that way. Or it could be better. Maybe to you, financial stability is making 100K a year, which 100K a year nowadays is not much. Taxes go up, inflation goes up, the economy sucks, different things happen, accidents happen, sickness happens, 100K all of a sudden becomes like worth 30K. And if you have 100K in a high cost of living area like we live in, it's not that much. We live in Texas, and 100K doesn't get you very far, relatively. If you have 100K in like Kentucky or Oklahoma, it goes really far. It won't go as far in California, New York, anything like that, Dubai. So rather than getting stuck in the outcome, the how, open yourself up. I would never have had this marriage where I feel I'm able to fully grow in my marriage if I'd stayed in older relationships. I would not have the job I have now, the business I'm working on, if I'd stayed in older jobs. I wouldn't have the relationship with God I have with my friends and family through that relationship with God if I'd stayed stuck as a Catholic, stayed an agnostic, stayed atheist, stayed Southern Baptist. I wouldn't have the body I have. I'm decently sized, right? I'm a decently sized dude. If I'd stuck with, oh, running is bad for you. Lifting weights makes you bulky, which, God, you know how hard it is to get bulky as a dude with like high testosterone? Like I have a very healthy testosterone level according to my doctors, and it's hard for me to get bulky. It's really hard. If I'd stuck with old patterns. But patterns are what keep you safe, right? Like if you see a bear running at you, the pattern in your head is, oh, I should get away because from what we've experienced, what I've seen, what I've learned, this is not good. At the same time, your patterns can keep you stuck. Like if you are so used to making under a certain amount of money, anything above that's weird, right? Like what's the first thing you do when you get a bonus? Hopefully you guys get bonuses. If you don't, it's not just you. It's been 4 years since we've gotten a bonus at our job. You start to spend it because you're so used to money going away. Most of you watching this, you're not financial millionaires. You're not financially free. And your parents probably have this idea that money's difficult, money comes and goes, and you can't enjoy life until you have financial stability. But if you're like me, you're around the age of 30 and your grandparents your parents are boomers and your grandparents were the generation that experienced the financial Great Depression. Their mindset is different because when the financial Great Depression happened, before that, there's a lot of things happening where it's like growth and growth and growth and growth. And they're like, oh, life is good. Let's spend all of our money. Let's enjoy life. And then the financial depression happened, which we're kind of starting to see happening now. And it's like, oh, we have to hoard our resources. You will not find happiness until you find stability. If you don't find stability, you can't be happy because that's what they experienced. And that's what they taught your parents. And that's what they taught you. So your idea of financial stability is just have enough to make it by and make sure that you have 6 years worth of living expenses and you invest in your 401k that makes you 2% a year. Oh, have a savings that gives you $1 for every 1,000 you give them while they're making thousands on your thousand. This again is not financial advice. It's not meant to be taken as financial advice. Y'all are smarter than that. It's good to have savings. It's good to have a backup. It's good to have finances set to where you're not overspending dumbly, stupidly. But what are the mindsets that are keeping you stuck? Like, you're afraid to spend $1,000 on a coach. You're afraid to spend $500 on a coach. Some of y'all are afraid to. I've had people who are afraid to spend $40 on a coaching program. $40. And you can easily blow that in an hour, not even an hour, going to the bar every weekend. Every weekend you go to the bar, you're probably spending $300, $400, $500. Not to include time. Time to get ready, time to go to the bar, time to go hang out after the bar, time to recover. And as you get to 30, that's like 2-3 days. But it's kind of what you're used to, right? Life sucks, work sucks. So let me go out with my friends over the weekend, make 1 hour worth the other 7 days I waste. What are those things you're fixed on? What are those mindsets you're stuck in that you haven't been able to get out of because you haven't, 1, recognized it, 2, maybe you've recognized it, but you're like, that's difficult. Or 3, you just don't care about. This isn't about me telling you what you should or should not care about. You get to choose that. That's the beauty of life and being human. You get to choose whatever you want to think about and whatever you want to care about. But at the end of the day, there are consequences. And there are consequences to you not making as much money as you can. There's consequences to you not finding a relationship that fulfills you. I have yet to meet someone, like all of the people who are single and are like, I'm so happy to be single. When they get down to it and we have conversations with them, when I talk to my friends, clients, they're like, it's great. I have a house. I have a great job. I can take care of my parents, but I'm lonely. What are you building it for? Whether it's financial stability, whether it's a great business, whether it's a marriage or singlehood, whatever it is. At the end of the day, there's a goal you want to have. And it's good to hold on to that goal, but don't hold on to the how of how you get there. Because I never would have met my wife if I stuck with who I used to date. I wouldn't have the business I have now if I stuck with what I want versus what do clients want, what do clients need. I wouldn't have the body I have if I stuck to like old thought patterns. I wouldn't have the relationship with God and the universe and the world and around me if I had just listened to everything around me. Like, people are like, oh, just build as much wealth as you can, burn the trees, whatever. Like, you should save all your money. And actually, this is a great point. So whenever you go out and buy things, how many times you hear people say, I got a great deal on this. Oh, I saved so much money. That only cost me $3. And I get it. You should be selfish in the sense that you take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, it's like what they tell you on an airplane. You put your own oxygen mask on first before you help others. But at a certain point, you're ingraining this pattern of, I only shop at Walmart because I don't need Lululemon. I only wear Lululemon. Like, my shorts are Lululemon. These are like $60 shorts I'm wearing right now. This is like a $20 shirt from Ross because I like it and I wanted it. And there's a difference there. I will spend, actually it's probably like a $7 shirt at Ross. I will spend less on something I want versus saying it's only $7, it's what I need. I will settle for it. Maybe that's giving up the how. Maybe that's giving up your ambitions for big things. Maybe that's giving up that end goal. But what is that how that you're holding on to? Like, I only buy $7 shirts because I am going to make sure that I save all of my money because I'm financially wise. But then you stick with your $7 shirts. You only buy $7 shirts, and your greedy ass mindset keeps you stuck in this idea that I can only afford $7 shirts. So when a $20 shirt that's going to last you 3 times as long comes around, you're like, no, I'm going to stick with my $7 shirt that's going to last me a year. I'm going to toss it out. It's going to lay waste in a dumpster and it's going to ruin the world. And because people are so used to buying $7 shirts, companies only want to build $7 shirts, which means that they're using the cheapest material that they can that's going to ruin you. Like, this stuff doesn't just sit on your body. Like, the chemicals get into your body. And then it ruins the earth. As it ruins the earth, you're seeing what society's seeing now, where it's like you can't afford things because they cost so much, because people are so cheap-minded, you're so stuck in your ways, and you're so stubborn about, I don't want to spend more on myself to take care of myself. You have health problems. We have a fatherhood crisis. We have a men's crisis. We have a leadership crisis. People can't lead their lives because you're stuck in this cheap ass mentality. And it doesn't just mean like, this is not my pitch to be like, buy my $5,000 coaching program because you need to expand your mind. This is my wake up to you. This is why it's on YouTube, to expand your mind for yourself and see what is it you want in life. If you don't want the $7 shirt, how do you work harder to get the $70 shirt? Not saying that's a great financial investment, but I'm saying in your mind, what are the things you want and how are you stopping yourself from getting it? I'm not promoting $100 shirts. Like, this shirt should not be $100. But if you can afford it, you can take care of your family, you have the mindset to make the wealth and build the businesses to make that money, awesome. It's like when people are like, oh, but Steve Jobs and them only wear black t-shirts. Yeah, they only wear black t-shirts, but they're probably not like $5 t-shirts. I don't know. I don't know their wardrobe. But if you look at people like, it's better to look, biblically, it's better to look poor but be rich versus look rich and be poor. But the people who are wearing like $100 shirts, they're not like Gucci or whatever brands are out there that are all made in the same Chinese Vietnamese factory. They might cost more because they like it. Like, I wear Lululemon because when I work out, it doesn't run. Like, I've had Nike and Adidas shorts that are just awful. They're half the price, but they last like a fifth of the life I've had my shorts, my Lululemon shorts for. And this is a plug for Lululemon. Sponsor me. That'll be awesome. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on YouTube, but I'm going to say it anyway because I love your stuff and that's all I wear. Not shirt-wise, because their black shirts are too florally. But their shorts are amazing. Maybe that's a more correct way to say it. Like, I only wear Lululemon shorts because it makes me feel good. Because I have to say, okay, this is an $80 short. How do I afford $80 shorts? It's not about how do I spend less on my family? How do I spend less on food? How do I spend less on rent, actually mortgage, to buy $80 shorts? This is about, I have a mortgage set, my food is set, my work is set. I use a cup company only because, one, branding, two, I love their products from before, and there's just a difference. I know it's just a logo, right? A lot of things you do, there's just a logo. But when you look at the logo, you see the little omega on Lululemon, and you're like, I understand how this makes me feel. I'm gonna leave it at this. Yesterday, me and my wife went to Kendra Scott to get a couple things. And my wife is gonna go in her comfort shorts because we were traveling. And she was like, I'm just gonna go like this. And I said, you sure? You don't wanna change? Not like a rude, like, you should do this. I know the feminists are gonna come out like, oh, how dare you say that. But she was in like travel shorts, comfy, very pajama looking shorts. And she didn't take it offensively. I think she took a minute and was like, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm gonna change. Because think about when you go to a Walmart, how do people dress? They look like they shop at Walmart. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it that way. Walmart was built on the fact that it is cheap. That's literally the business standard. That's not me being offensive. That is literally what Walmart stands for. Cheap products, all easy to find, really cheap. It's what it is. You go into Kendra Scott, they give you a wine, they have nice jewelry, it's white and gold, they have leather chairs. Kendra Scott, I don't know if that's her actual name, her book is there. It exudes luxury, right? Gold, silver. People are dressed up. Like the customer service people there, very well dressed. They look like they're going to church. They look like they're going on a nice dinner. Gold, like bags, golden veneer bag, whatever. So my wife had to think like, if I want to be taken seriously, I do have to kind of dress up a little bit, or at least show effort. I know a lot of people are like, you shouldn't have to do that to go to a store. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is, there's a standard you set when your mind is put in a certain place. If I walked into a Lululemon store wearing Walmart, they're gonna be like, I know they don't mean it, but they're automatically gonna be like, do you belong here? I know people are gonna be like, that's racist, that's classist, that's whatever you want to say. That's how it works. Like, I'm sorry, that's how the world works. So rather than being so focused on how it should be in your life, think about what it is, how do you work in it, and if you want to change something, you have to change it from the inside, right? Because we can walk into any store and be like, let's buy this. We walk into Kendra Scott, we can buy this, whatever. But if she walks in like pajamas, they're gonna look at her and not take her seriously. when she makes really good money, and they're going to think she's a joke, they're going to think I'm a joke, and they're not going to treat us right. I'm just going to say, Kendra Scott people, you took care of us. Except for the fact there was one person who didn't help us with the clear bag bonus thing. I'm a little upset about that, but again, Lululemon, reach out, sponsor us. Kendra Scott, overall 99%, very, very happy. Yeah. You're perceived on how you show up, and how you show up is a perception of what you think of yourself in your mind. My wife was like, I'm just going to go in and pick it up. Yeah, but they're not going to see it that way, and they're not going to be as likely to help you. So she changed. And we were there. It was like one of the best experiences we've had. They loved our dog. They took care of us. They helped us. They searched. They fixed some things they didn't have to fix. They cleaned some things they didn't have to clean. And it was great. Because we took it upon ourselves to say, this is how I want it, but I understand that this is how it is. So I'm not going to focus on the how versus let me work in with what will get me to what I want. Which is she wanted to help with certain things. She wanted a little clear bag bonus. And she didn't get fixated on, well, this is how I'm going to show up and I'm going to shove my way in. Not literally. Because those are some of the worst clients. Those are some of the worst people to work for. The ones who think that their way is the only way and it's their way or the highway. There's a difference between tenacity and stubbornness, but I want you to think about where are you being stubborn versus where you having that grit and tenacity to push forward in what you want. This isn't about change what you want in life, but don't be afraid to adjust. Don't be afraid to evolve. Don't be afraid to grow. Because the surefire way to ruin your life, the surefire way to ruin your success, the surefire way to ruin everything that you hope and dream and build for is getting stuck in the how and making your how the only how, rather than saying maybe there's a better way that I need to learn and adjust and adapt. This is Laurence with Kendall Mindset. If you want more coaching, if you want anything more like this, we have private coaching on a dedicated app. Details are below. If you want to join our newsletter, details are below. You want to follow us on social media, details are below. Remember that you don't have to get stuck in anyone's boxes. You don't have to stick yourself in your box. Be open to expanding your mind and growing as you want to grow. And on that note, in peace, love, and light, I'm Laurence. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Signing off until next time.